Hi, Mark Hayward here, yo-yo, juggling, and spin top champion. Today we're going to learn how to spin a top as part of my spin top tutorial series. This is brought to you by Yo-Yo Sam, a place where you can get juggling stuff, tops, yo-yos, kendamas, all kinds of greatness, and you can even get the official Mark Hayward signature spin top. Spin tops are super cool. They're one of the world's oldest toys. They've been around forever and there's a ton of stuff that you can do with them, even more than most people think. If you'd like to learn more about spin tops and learn more tricks, please come subscribe to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to wind and spin the top. And make sure you watch all the way to the end because I'll have a section with troubleshooting as well as other tips that'll make it more fun. The first step, of course, is getting a top. Your top will come with string. The strings come in different lengths. Some of that depends on the top or what country you bought the top from. In general, you want the string to be about 6 feet long. That's my preference. Some people like shorter strings, especially the Mexican demonstrators. It all works, you just have to figure out how to do it. There are two broad kinds of tops. You've got a fixed tip or a bearing tip. This one is fixed. When I twist the tip, it doesn't move relative to the body. A bearing tip would spin independently. It just affects tricks later on. So how do we wind it? You wind the top differently depending on if you're right or left-handed. If you're right-handed, hold the top in your left hand. You put your thumb on the tail of the string, wind the string around the crown, point the tip toward your right hand, and then wind toward you. And the way you remember which way that is if you accidentally stuck your finger out, you would go up your nose. The first couple wraps should be tight. The rest of it needs to be tight, but not gorilla tight. And you keep winding until you run out of string. Like so. But I'm left-handed, so I'm going to do it for me. I hold the top in my right hand, put my thumb on the tail of the string, wind around the crown, lock down on the knot, and then start from the tip and work my way up. Before you throw it, you got to figure out how to hold it. And there are a lot of variations in top spinning. I do a particular thing with holding the string that I consider to be wrong, but it's the way that I do it. I'm going to show you how I think you should do it, and I'm going to keep doing it my own way. I think the best way to hold the top is that you put the button behind your fingers on your throwing hand, and then you're going to hold the top in your fingertips with the tip pointing straight up. It's easy in this configuration to let the whole thing fly across the room in one unit. You don't want to do that. So when you release the top, you bend your fingers so you can hold onto the string. That was hard for me when I first started out, so I decided to put the button on the inside of my hand and twist the string around. This is harder and will make your life harder later, so I don't recommend it. Definitely try to learn it with the button behind your hand. Chances are when you get your top, the button won't be attached to the string. There should be a hole in it. You simply thread the string through the hole and tie an overhand knot. If that knot isn't quite big enough, you can get fancy and do a figure-8 knot or just tie 2 overhand knots, and that should do it. Some people do tie the top string onto their finger the same way that you would with a yo-yo string with a slip knot. And it's not wrong, but there are certain tricks that you won't be able to do with the string in that configuration. So I recommend learning with the button. Now that you've got the top wound, it's time to throw it. Hold the top in your fingertips with the tip pointing straight up. Keep your arm straight, lock your elbow. You're just going to move your shoulder. Bring your arm back, come forward quickly, and stop. And you're aiming for a spot about 4 or 5 feet out in front of you, like this. So that's how you wind and throw a top. If you didn't get it right away, don't worry. It takes practice, but you'll get there. The main problem that people have when they're spinning a top, besides getting it to actually turn, is getting it to land on its point. When you release the top, you want the tip to be pointing straight up because as it unwinds, it's going to flip over 180 degrees so it can land right on the point. So that means that if you throw it and it lands on its side, it's because you released it on its other side. So you will have to adjust your throw enough to get that tip pointing straight up. There is a little bit of variation with different kinds of tops. Some need to lean out a little bit outside, some need to lean a little bit inside, forward or back. But the gist of it is that you can diagnose what's going wrong if you can watch exactly how your top lands. If it's landing on its side and you want it to be 90 degrees in that direction, then you've got to adjust your throw to be 90 degrees in that direction. When you throw the top, your perfect throw will land right on the ground with a little click, just like when you watch a professional bowler. A bowler doesn't throw the ball into the lane, boom, and let it land, and neither does a top spinner. This is going to take some practice, but with the perfect throw will come down at an angle from your arm and land right on the floor. You can throw a top on just about any surface. However, if you throw on something really hard and abrasive like concrete or brick, you can break your top. The ideal surface that you want is dense carpet or something like a linoleum floor. The realities of the physics of tops is that because they have this tiny little point with all this weight balanced on it, that if you're spinning on a wood floor or something else that could be damaged, you can punch holes in your floor. I've done it. Trust me, it's easier to do than you think. So be careful what surroundings you have when you're spinning a top so that you don't damage it. If you want to learn more tricks and other cool stuff, I have more tutorials on yo-yos and spin tops on my YouTube channel. Come and subscribe, it'll be great. Plus, I've got goofy comedy videos and performance stuff, and if you even like making stuff, you can see videos on that as well. Thanks so much, see you next time. Special thanks to my friend Taylor Glenn for filming, advice, and general awesomeness. Taylor has a ton of amazing tutorials on her channel, Taylor Tries, so check it out.
Yeah.